Hi, this is Derek. I want to talk a little bit about a special offer that I put together for new students who are joining my Guerrilla Publishing group or program. Basically, I'll give you a little bit of history. I've been publishing for a while and more recently been pretty successful with fiction and nonfiction. I talk about how there are different kinds of books to write. So I love fiction and nonfiction for different reasons. Fiction can be pretty good about actually earning money, and because there's such a larger audience. Nonfiction is probably better for if you have a mission book, if you're trying to build a platform, or building a service business, like an online business around an idea or topic. I'm going to assume, well, I'll talk a little bit about both. First, for nonfiction, there are kind of two different types of books. There's the how-to book, the help book, which I think is the most important thing to start off with. A lot of people, they start off with the big idea book, like I'm going to write my manifesto that changes the world. And the problem is if you don't already have an audience, nobody's really listening. And if they're not looking for the keywords, a brand book is basically like for example, my brand is Creative Indie. So I put together two words and I spelled them wrong and I put them together. That's a pretty good brand for me. It's not a great keyword because if people don't already know me, they're not looking for that keyword and they don't know what that concept even means. So I have to get their attention and then educate them about my brand before they'll even know what the benefits are. And that's a really hard sell. It's much, much easier, especially for building any kind of online business or platform or just getting attention in the world where there's so much competition. It's easier to really hit what people are searching for and to solve problems. If you're relentlessly helpful and generous with content and you're helping people solve problems, that's the best way to start something online or offline. It's the best way to kind of build an audience around you. Eventually, I think you can use the audience that you've built and transition into a brand book, which is where you're really making a statement. So in my personal process, for years I've been writing like how to write a book, how to market a book, how to design a book. I've been putting out lots of content and templates and resources to help authors write books. That's been really valuable. That's how I built my platform. The problem is that's not what I love to do. It's not what I really want to be known for. I read another book recently that was like, you should introduce yourself as I'm the author of X, where X is the thing that you want to be known for. And that kind of resonated with me because the books I have out already, even though they do pretty well and they earn some money, I'm not proud of them. I don't want to introduce myself. I don't self-identify as the author of those books. Like I don't self-identify as a book cover designer or an editor because those are skills and services that I provide because they fill a need, because it's so much easier to get people to buy what they need and want from you rather than for them to buy what you want to sell to them. So that's kind of a weird thing, which is why with Creative Indie, the point of Creative Indie is you have to find a balance between what you love to do and what others actually want or need. And also, there's this marketing, I forget what it's called, but it's a phrase that says something like, you have to attract them with what they need or want. What is it? Give them what they want and then sell them what they need, or something like that, which just means first, if they don't know what solution or answer you're actually providing, or they don't know why they need your solution, that's not what they're looking for maybe. For example, I talk about book marketing because I assumed book marketing is the solution that a lot of people have, and it isn't really, because most people are still wanting to write a book and they don't know what to write about. They don't know how to start writing. They don't know if it's worth putting in 3 to 6 months or years of their time to write something if, it's not going to make any money. No one's ever going to like it. It's not going to, why even start it or how to even get started. So I've learned that what I think they need and what I want to try to sell, which is book marketing stuff, it doesn't actually help people because most people need help with finishing the book and finishing a good book and finishing a book that's going to sell. So you kind of have to start off with whoever your audience is, whoever your potential audience is. You have to look down at the bottom where they're starting off, and you try to provide a lot of good content at the lowest level where people are just starting off, and try to help them take action and get excited about the possibility. Like why even, for example, why even write a book? What's the point? Why do it? I'm starting to put out some more content like that. I kind of have assumed, well, everybody wants to write a book, of course. But then what's stopping them? Why aren't they actually going through and taking action and doing it? And how can I help them to decide to really take action so that they're invested? And once they're invested, I can actually help them to write a book that's going to sell. I can help them publish it or market it. There's a lot of other things I can do, but I can't write the book for them. Going off a little bit in a different direction, the frustration I've always had with publishing services is I can't solve the core problem. I can make a great book cover, I can edit it and make it really clean, I can market it, get it to #1, I can build a big email list and stuff. What I can't do is, if you don't have a great product, you really need I want to say you have to have an amazing book, but I also have to qualify how people define value versus quality in books is also kind of a weird, big, messy issue, because people think an amazing book is a well-written book, and that's not really the case. An amazing book is one that readers love, that resonates with them, that kept them reading and excited and interested. The quality of the writing is not necessary to creating an amazing book. Having the right content, having the right story, having the right architecture, the right scenes and characters or whatever, you can use whatever words to put the images or the story or the information in readers' heads, but the actual individual polishing of the sentences is not the biggest deal. It's a structure. So I always had trouble because I could take what they have, which is like an okay book, and I could turn it into a really pretty good book. But if there's not a huge audience looking for that thing, if they have the wrong title or keywords or whatever, Christina asked me, how do you know when something is good right off? So I'm going to talk a little bit about that in a moment. But basically, you have to know your audience. You have to know who is the audience. What other books are they buying and enjoying? Read the reviews of those other books on Amazon. See what they like and they didn't like about those books. If you deliberately construct a book that's going to satisfy those same readers, and you know it's an audience of 1 million, 10 million, whatever, and you know where they are and where they hang out and stuff, it's not as big of a risk. So you know it's right because you did it on purpose. You tried to please that audience on purpose, and that makes it much less risky and also much easier to write. So I got a little bit off topic, but my point with this video was to say I do have a guerrilla publishing program, which I just opened, and it basically walks you through the whole writing and publishing and marketing process. But I'm sneaking in an extra bonus that's not even on the enrollment page. I'll put the enrollment page down below. But basically what I wanted to try to do, because I have my background as an editor, I have my PhD in literature, I wanted to see if I could help you to actually write a good book from scratch, rather than like me coming on after the book is done and helping you to publish it, which, like I said, isn't going to fix all the big problems. Or even if I edited it, I could improve it, but I couldn't really rewrite it. Like, I can't write the book for you. But what I'm really excited about trying to offer is something where I have a new side course that I'm going to make. I'm in an anthology called Write and Grow Rich, which is out on Amazon. It's 99 cents. As part of my bonus, I made a $200 course on writing to market, or writing books that sell, that you can get for free if you buy that anthology on Amazon. But the reason that I'm excited about this little course is because first I'm going to lay out like the structure. I've been learning a lot this year, especially about nonfiction. And I was talking earlier about the nonfiction practical how-to guide that you need to get started with that I've written in the past, and the more visionary, meaningful passion stuff, which I'm really excited about finally starting to write. I've been running Creativity for like, I don't know, 7 or 8 years, and I've never put together the creativity manifesto that I've always wanted to, and I've actually split it into like 3 different projects about getting paid to create, writing under the influence, and creative confidence or creative courage. And they're kind of all topics I want to dive really deep into and use I love research, I love historical anecdotes and trivia, so I really want to make those really good projects. But to get those, like to be as successful with those books, because they're general nonfiction, to be as successful as I want to be with those books, I need to build my platform bigger. And I've never really invested in platform growth before, because I always made like enough money to work on my own projects and to travel full time. And I didn't really need to scale. But if I want those books to have the impact that I think they could have, I need to focus on building my platform, which means I need to make my platform profitable enough that I can afford to invest in advertisement without losing money. If you can advertise to build your platform and grow your list, and be selling enough of something so that you're not losing money with the advertising, then you can really scale up and you can build a really big email list. And I've also learned this year especially about storytelling and about including vulnerable stories and shares in my email series, not only to get their attention, and not only because information on its own is not what people need. There's tons of information. What they need is the confidence to do the thing. So they need to believe that they can do it and to believe that you can help them solve your problem before they're willing to actually implement any of your tactics and see results. And if they're not believing and taking action and seeing results, they're just going to assume like you can't help them. So this is some stuff I learned this year that I'm really excited about. I need to kind of go back and revise my platform, revise some of my nonfiction books, but like towards the end of the year, now we're almost in October, I'm going to be really investing in scaling my platform and focusing on massive growth so that I can start to do the more meaningful passion projects that I've been avoiding or resisting for quite a while. And so right now, like before I can get to that other stuff, I have to focus more on helping more of you. I have to focus on helping more other people to solve their problems and to write books that sell and to build a platform or whatever. So I thought in this group, which is creativity, you probably follow me for the creative entrepreneur business stuff, like, you know, how to make money online or how to create a freelance business so you can travel full time. Or you're interested in publishing books, but maybe you're not sure how to start or what kind of book you should write or what's going to be a successful book or what kind of book you need to write to get you to where you want to go. Maybe you have another idea in mind of a creative business you want to start. Books can be a great way to build an audience and kind of brand yourself and get people familiar with your story and your background. And the reason that they're amazing is because if you're competing with like a million other blogs on your topic, it's really hard to get ahead. And there are ways to do content marketing or to repurpose your content so you have a lot of backlinks back to your platform and start showing up in Google search results, but it's slow. My blog took probably 5 years before I was really getting any traffic, and I still have never really grown my blog the way that I could have been blogging it. So I'm going to focus more on growing my blog, my traffic, my platform, and also advertising for growth to reach a new audience, which is, I mean, difficult for me. I'm not very comfortable putting myself out in front of strangers like that, so I've been resisting it for a long time, but it's what I need to do to get to the next step. But for you, if you've written some books or you're thinking about writing some books, but you're just not sure what's the best project to invest your time on to get to where your goals and dreams are, because you really have to have a strong, like, you have to have a why. You have to have something you're so excited about doing with your life that you're gonna do the work to get you there. So a book is a great way to put yourself out and defeat a lot of the competition, because you will actually show up in search results with your book on Amazon or whatever. And most people don't write books. So if you have a book with a title that shows up on the first page of Google, you're going to outperform every other creative entrepreneur who's thought about starting something but just isn't getting the traction. So they can be a great way to start something. And also just like to lay out, like, this is who I am, this is what I want to do with my life, this is my goal, this is what I'm trying to attract into my life. And then you will attract the people who resonate with your story or your value or your message, which can be really useful. So, but the offer that I'm making, the thing that I think is kind of cool and I'm excited about, is if you join the Guerrilla Publishing course, next month I'm going to launch that Write to Market course. And so you can go through and kind of get the basics of my system, like how to write books that are going to be successful on purpose. And you can use my system to develop an idea. We'll have activities and challenges, and I'll prompt you to, like, think about where you want to be, and then brainstorm some ideas of the types of books that will attract the right kind of audience to support you in actually doing the thing that you really want to do. It doesn't have to be like, you don't necessarily want to start with the book that's the exact same as your final plan, because most people don't care about your final plan. Like I said, most people want to solve their immediate pressing problems. You need to focus on solving people's pain points and providing useful content information, but you should also be telling stories about your end goal so that you're kind of putting it out into the world and saying, this is what I want to get to, but for now I'm going to help the right kind of people who I want to form the basis of my audience, who together will help me to get to this other place. So what I want to do is help you to get the right idea and the right subtitle and the right keywords and a little bit of market research so that you know who your audience is and what they actually want and what their pain points actually are and what they're searching for. You can do that with keyword research, but then I'll help you to develop an outline and I will critique your outline for you. So this is kind of like developmental editing, but what I don't like is when I edit books, and I don't really edit very much anymore, but I do 2 cents a word for proofreading, 4 cents a word for basically copy editing, which is revising and fixing everything, and 6 cents a word for a developmental edit, which is the most important thing, but it's too expensive for most authors to get done. A developmental edit just means someone will go through your book and tell you everything that's wrong with it and why you need to rewrite it or change it. And the problem is it might cost, $3,000 to $5,000, but that's after you've already done the work. And then it's really difficult to revise and rewrite, and it can be really frustrating to pay a lot of money for an editor and then get the notes back and be like, oh crap, I thought I was done. I thought I was going to publish, but this editor is telling me I need to rewrite all this stuff. So do I even bother? Like, do I spend 3 to 6 more months rewriting it, or do I just publish it the way it is? So developmental editing is really valuable, but it's not the best thing for you because you've already done all the work. So what I want to do is have you write a really strong, clear outline, like focus on your sales copy, focus on your outline organization. We'll do challenges, like here are 10 anecdotes, personal anecdotes that you need to brainstorm, that you can put into your book that resonate with readers. Because you can't just talk about yourself, but you can tell little personal stories that support your main ideas. And you should be doing that. And so there are ways to structure a fiction or a nonfiction book in a way that makes it a better book that readers are going to enjoy more. So I can teach you those structures and give you the outlines and stuff, but I also want to give you an editorial critique of your book so that before you start writing, you already know that you have a strong plan and strong structure, and you've already done the market research, so you know who your audience is. You can start pre-selling it. You can start building your email list. Like if you have a cover and your sales copy, you could be building your list already. You could be running advertisements to build a list of beta readers already, because you already have a thing that's attractive, a thing that people want to buy and to read. And then you've already validated your idea. So you already know, like, while you're working on the book, people are signing up to get the book. That's really empowering. I take it a step further, and I put my book out on pre-order, so I know that people are buying the book on Amazon, which forces me to finish and do the work because I know people want it. That's risky. I wouldn't necessarily recommend you do that, especially if it's your first book. Hey, Christina. So anyway, the offer that I'm making with this course, that I'm probably not going to do again, but it's kind of something I want to do, is that we'll start off writing a book that's going to sell, and I'll help you critique the outline, and we'll kind of all be working on our books together. That could take, a month, or it could take 3 to 6 months, depending, but you'll do it faster, and you'll get it done if you have a supportive community who's all working on their books together. So that's kind of the environment that I want to build for you, because I think it's really valuable. And I do think for either fiction or nonfiction, I think the problem is for a lot of people, they want to write books, but they just don't. Because not necessarily even that they don't know where to start, they don't know what to write about, but it's isolating, and there's no pressure, there's no accountability, there's no motivation to actually just do it as opposed to doing other things. And it's also extremely mentally taxing, more than anything else I've ever done, more than my PhD thesis, more than any other job I've ever had. Writing books is creatively exhausting. It's difficult, and you can do it you can build up your resistance. I'm better now at sitting down, and I can write for a couple hours without feeling exhausted. But when I was starting to write fiction, if I could get 30 minutes a day, like maybe 500 words or 1,000 words, I was exhausted for the rest of the day. I couldn't do anything else with my brain for the rest of the day. I could do other stuff that didn't take as much brain power. So it's difficult and it's exhausting, which is why I think a lot of people don't do it, and they don't give up, because it's like, why work so hard and be exhausted all the time if I don't know if this book is going to be successful? So the Guerrilla Publishing package is basically this write-to-market course, which we'll go through together, and I'll help you critique your outline. The Guerrilla Publishing course, which is all about, taking your manuscript and making it #1 bestseller, but also building an author platform. You'll also get a Reach Your Readers course, which is more about author platform building. And then you're also going to get my next course, which is 21-Day Author Platform. I like to kind of give people what I haven't done yet. So we'll start with writing a book from scratch, because I think it's easier for me to help you if we all write a book from scratch rather than just trying to revamp. If you've already got books out, my Guerrilla Publishing course will definitely help you to fix the problems, why it's not selling, or build a platform to keep it selling. So you can always salvage something you've already finished, but it's easier and probably better to start from scratch and do everything the right way. So that's the offer. And then the 21-day author platform will be, like I said, this year I'm going to really focus on growing my platform, which I've never really focused on doing before. So it's kind of intimidating, but I also know I really need to do it to get to the point where I need to be and to get my books to have the impact. I've been basically self-publishing, which is fine, and I've been focused on, if I can make $1,000 a month on $1,000 a month on a book. Like if I launch a book, this last vampire novel, I spent about $1,000 marketing it and launching it, and now it's earning about $1,000 a month for the last 3 months. That's not necessarily going to keep going, and it's great to have side income so that I can just write books and focus on what I like to do. That's amazing. I love doing it. I think it's one of the best ways to create revenue online, especially passive income. And I think there's nothing better than waking up and just working on your own creative projects. It's difficult because, like I said, it's much easier to make money online if you are selling what people need. So if I was just selling cover design or editing, it'd be so much easier because there's a huge demand and people will just hire me and I'll do the work. On the one hand, it's easier to make money that way, but I was frustrated because I really wanted to be focused on my own personal creative projects. And the Creative Indie platform is all about providing enough value in the world and creating enough space so that you're not working for all your money. You don't have a 9-to-5 job, and you have the time and the freedom to focus on your creative goals and dreams, with the caveat that you're also still providing value, because I don't think you can just work on whatever you want and it will automatically have value to other people. And if you're not producing value to other people, you don't really deserve to get paid. There's no guarantee you're going to make any money. A lot of creative people, they just make what they want and they assume that like somehow they can sell it, somehow people will pay for it, and that's not really true. You always have to be focused on providing value. So guerrilla publishing is just writing books that have intrinsic value on purpose and packaging and positioning them in a way so that readers just know that this book is for them. So if you do that, you don't need to do the book marketing. You don't need to do the promotion or the advertising all the time. So that's kind of the basic point. But I am excited about taking it back a step and helping you to just write like one good book that's going to be profitable, and helping you critique the outline, helping you critique the blurb, the sales copy, stuff like that, where it's really a lot of like personal feedback that I can do for you that will help the book be so much more successful. I probably won't offer this again. Eventually, I'm going to do the 21-day author platform to really focus on building my platform and showing you how to take it up a step. So instead of selling, 1,000 books, selling 10,000 books, or making it a USA Today bestselling bestseller or something, like basically taking it to a bigger platform. To do that, I said earlier, like I haven't wanted to do that because I don't want to get famous as a book marketer or a cover designer. So I've never really wanted to invest in growing my platform. But I do want to get famous as, someone with a PhD in literature who talks about creative history, and especially like the biographies or the interesting anecdotes about historical famous writers, literature, artists, a lot of the historical trivia that other people don't even know because it's not available online. You have to actually go to the library and read books about this stuff to find the information. That's a lot of the stuff I did with my PhD thesis that nobody else really knows about. So I'm excited about just focusing on those things and kind of being famous for being that guy and writing those kind of books. But to do that, I need to first really focus on platform growth, advertising, building my email list, stuff like that. So I'm going to be doing that this year. The 21-day author platform course will come out probably early next year, and then we'll focus on getting everything, like once you've written a good book that has a really strong possible market, then helping you to launch it, not just to make it profitable, but to really make yourself like the go-to expert on that thing, to write kind of the branded book that builds yourself as a celebrity and builds trust and credibility, which can be really important for building an online business or a coaching business or whatever. So if you're interested in writing a book, I thought I would make this video for you. I'll put a link down so you can check out the full offer. This other course, like the writing to market, and I will edit your outline and stuff, that's not even on the enrollment page. It's just a special bonus offer I'm offering for you guys in this group. But I'll keep track and just make sure that I know that you're interested in that, and I'll make sure, like I'll kind of announce it to everybody who joins the Guerrilla Publishing course right now anyway. But it's not something that I'm like publicly promoting because it does take a lot of time, and in the future I'm not going to be able to if I want to really scale my platform, I can't be working with clients one-on-one as much as I am now. So in the future, I'll probably stop doing that and focus on just putting out passive products so I can really scale up big without doing the one-on-one coaching stuff. Or I'll just charge a lot more for the one-on-one coaching stuff. Although, like, as much as I know that that's what people need from me, I would also really like to just be working on my projects and having, like, giving out resources so that you guys can be learning from me, but keeping more time for myself so I can really focus on doing the high-level creative work that I'm also really excited about, because I do think you need, you can get frustrated or burned out if you're just working on other people's projects. So I want to make sure I'm focused on not only doing the services, but taking my platform to the next level, so I'm always a step ahead and I always have something to offer. Because if my students, if I do my job well, my students are already doing pretty well, they're already being successful, so I want to make sure I know how to help them reach the next level or go bigger when they're ready to go bigger. Anyway, so I hope this video helps a little bit. That's also kind of an introduction to where I'm going in the next couple of years. So if you're familiar with my Creative Indie platform, that way you kind of know what's going on. And I'd love to hear what you're working on. If you're thinking about writing a book, down in the comments, leave me a message about what kind of book you're thinking about working on, or what ideas you have for a book. And maybe I can help you a little bit get some clarity or direction with those projects as well. Thanks, bye-bye.